All right, welcome in. Hope you had a great weekend. I know you had a great weekend because a lot of good things have either happened or are happening here in our city. And look, we appreciate you joining us on PhillyVoice SportsBets. Devin Caney, Harry Mays, I'm Eitan. Matt Cherico is producing, and I'm Eitan Shannon. I don't want to sound like I'm Eitan or separate myself in like some share-esque category here. I was just getting through it by all means. But the Eagles are 4-0. The Philadelphia Phillies, probably by the time you watch this, if it's like a day or two into the week, will have clinched and snapped an 11-year streak. At some point, it's going to happen. And even the Sixers are embarking on their preseason, which there's going to be a lot of action on. And I've been charged by a site to create content for the NBA preseason. So,
oh, wow.
I'm going to mine the hell out of your two brains and see if I can steal whatever and regurgitate into
What's the
stuff.
point total for Ben Simmons tonight in this preseason?
You're asking the wrong person.
Over under 1.
Yes.
Probably.
I'll take the under.
Yeah. I'm so excited to start betting on NBA, though. It's always my favorite. Yes. But Eitan, you said only good things happening in Philadelphia this weekend. I don't know if you saw the Phillies game on Saturday, that first one where the Brewers put up a touchdown on them.
Yeah.
Maybe not all good things, but here we are,
no.
still at 1 as the magic number. So we'll
Correct.
take it.
As you and I and Harry and Matt and all of us engage in conversation, the magic number is still at 1 by all means. And hopefully Aaron Nola, of all people, can be on the mound when they end this thing and at least walk out with a win. You're right. It's I didn't mean to paint with such a broad brush like, hey, everything's beautiful. Like even outside, it's not beautiful.
Oh, it's awful.
No.
Yeah,
it's absolutely awful.
It's terrible.
And I feel like
a
it's
lot
been
more worse things than not in this city going on. But yeah, I was just focusing on at least the Eagles are.
I feel like it's been a week or so since we've done one of these shows, and I just wanted to pass along that my mother was not too happy with you, Eitan, because she missed out on her Friday plays for the weekend of college football. She's like, "Where was the show? What happened?" I got a phone call on Saturday morning. Like, what am I gonna bet on here?
I missed it too, guys. I'm not a college football expert, so Harry, I rely on your expertise to let me know.
Well, I got skunked on the Georgia game anyway, which I gave out earlier in the week, and the over did not hit in the Kentucky game because Ole Miss, driving down inside the 5, went for it on 4th and goal and came up empty, and Will Levis turned the ball over twice in the 4th quarter. That game should have gone over easily.
Yep. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right, we'll bounce around because something happened to me on the weekend that was just one of the worst situations from an ending standpoint. But it was one of these, and I wanted to bounce it off you both because it was one of these where it's like, I'll do it every single time. It just didn't work out in this case. But let's start with the Philadelphia Eagles at one point, 14-0, where I was watching. They were down. They were plus 134. So just hammered away on that one. That was nice to see just because the pressure was off at that point. And then they covered the 6.5 for all of us who had that.
Game went over the total too.
It did go over the total. And that's nice to see for anybody and everyone who was riding individual stuff. A.J. Brown, how about the celebration, right? Following the kid. So a lot of great things, I think, taken from the fact that they're 4-0. From a specific standpoint, right? There were so many variables that you just don't want to see again that you don't know if you can count on, like Trevor Lawrence turning into Carson Wentz because of the rain, stuff like that. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
I mean, but to the Eagles' defense's credit, they did a good job of getting to Trevor Lawrence. They did what they did to Kirk Cousins and to Carson Wentz now 3 weeks in a row, kind of getting that quarterback rattled. And yeah, the weather was bad, but I think it was Hassan Reddick had a good quote after the game where he was like, they were playing in the same weather we were.
Yeah.
So
sure.
All credit
showed
to
up,
them.
man.
A terrible game and just a week overall in terms of NFL bets for me. Like, I don't know if I had one single thing hit. Actually, I did. CeeDee Lamb touchdown. That's
nice.
Wow, you took a Dallas Cowboy?
Yeah, it was gross. I know. Sorry.
Wow.
Wait, is that a caveat? Like, you could take a Cowboy so long as the Cowboy's not playing the Eagle?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing the Commanders. And
well, he's on my fantasy team, too.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Wait, real quick, Harry, because I know you're going to jump in here. We'll come back to that, Devin, because there was some stuff that went wrong for me as well. So we'll extrapolate a little more from that. But just, Harry, I know you were jumping in on the Eagles first. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I jumped in on the over. It opened at 48 and it went down as low as 44. I saw it on Sunday morning, so I just had to jump in because I figured everybody was going to take the under because the weather was so bad. And it's crazy how some of those games, you know, when you're thinking the weather's going to hold the scoring down, you know, the field was fine, and it was a kind of a fast track for, you know, like you said, Jacksonville got out early, gave you an opportunity to jump in live with the Eagles, which I hope everybody took advantage of. I did it with the Buffalo Bills. I got Buffalo plus 15.5 at one point in that game, and I'm like, they're down like, what was it, 20 to 3 or whatever it was,
17 points, right?
Yeah, and then they end up winning the game because Harbaugh decides not to kick the field goal. They go for it, and they threw the interception, which I thought was pretty bizarre. The other one that I jumped in on, I took the Raiders. I told you I was all over the Raiders. Got them at money line at minus 145. I also laid the 2.5, and that ended up being a nice winner. I lost on the live bet with the Colts. I jumped in Indianapolis plus 4.5 when they closed it to 7, and they got the ball back and blew it. So that was a bad one.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Baltimore one was killer.
Yeah,
by all means. Those
two are going to meet in the playoffs again.
Yeah,
trust me. Yeah, that's going to be a great tilt up in Buffalo.
And it's going to be interesting to see how it look. Granted, guys are going to be hurt, and records and stats and lines are going to impact a lot. But to see how tight that spread may be is going to be interesting, especially following that loss and the way in which it ended. By all means. The NFL was great. It was college that just kicked me in the freaking mouth.
Me too.
Oh, my good. Okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're not alone.
I was able to bounce back and pretty healthy there on college in the NFL. But a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, right? Like Arizona State, guys are running Herm Edwards out. It's a total debacle, bleep show, if you will.
A couple more coaches fired this weekend.
Yeah, they're going up against a powerhouse in the Trojans, and it's like, you know, USC doesn't cover. The one thing that did happen to me was I had Tulane, and this was like the situation where I feel like I would do this every time. I had Tulane on the money line, and they were plus 116. I knew they were down a backup quarterback, right? But that quarterback got all the reps. He was playing. He was practicing. No problem, no issue there. So they go out. They take on Houston. All of a sudden, that kid goes down. Now their third-string quarterback is out. Their third-string quarterback threw one pass his entire career at Tulane. So immediately Houston is minus 5.5 in-game, right? Even though Tulane is up now by, I believe, a score, right? Or maybe it was 3, what have you. So I doubled down in the sense of, like, I bet Houston minus 5.5 just over a unit because I had Tulane a half unit at plus 122. Somehow this kid moved the football down the field, and somehow this kid won the freaking game. So I lose that bet because Houston lost outright. But I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to bet against a third-string college quarterback in game every single freaking time.
Right. And if you would have done that in that Big 12 championship game, like, 2 years ago, Baylor, where they were down to their third stringer, they covered that game too. With
maybe I shouldn't.
Quarterback.
I should have talked to you. Yeah. Ahead of time.
I hit 2 out of my 3 unders, though, in the NFL yesterday. Guess which one I didn't hit?
The Bear? No, that one hit.
Bucks, Chiefs.
No, the Detroit and Seattle debacle. That ended up turning into a Pac-12 game. I mean, how does that happen? With Detroit down Swift and St. Brown, they scored, 38 points?
It's
unbelievable,
NFL, man.
It was a wild day. I think, like, it's crazy how many teams were affected by the weather. I think that played a role in a lot of things, but yeah, it was a wild day.
But it didn't on Saturday because Aton was preparing for
no,
Ian.
Not the Carolinas, by all means. We got to see Kenny Pickett. Like, there were some crazy things that happened,
Saquon Barkley, an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's the other thing too, is if you just look at, where we are, clearly the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be heavy favorites continue, even though Dak is coming back. But Giants were banged up. Washington just continues to prove how dog shit they are, right?
Good uniforms, though.
Yeah.
I like the uniforms.
I like the uniforms. Yeah.
Do they stick with those, or is that like a one-time?
That's their alternate jersey, I think. I think that's their third one.
Okay. Giants are getting 8, by the way, in Green Bay. Washington is getting 2.5.
Isn't that game in London? That's the London game.
You're right.
London game? Yeah,
Green Bay and the Giants is a London game. So for me, I kind of just stay away from it. I don't like any of those London games.
Look, at this point, Green Bay is not trustworthy outside.
No.
If you want to tease them down below a field goal, that's really it. Like, I wouldn't trust Green Bay to do anything.
They almost lost to Bailey Zappi yesterday at home.
Did either of you know how to pronounce that guy's name before they said it on TV?
No, I knew it because he played at Western Kentucky. I bet him in a bowl game.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I do not.
No,
he put up monster numbers in college.
Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly. All right, let's look at this. Anything tonight? Monday Night Football will bounce around, and also I wanted to build something here where if Matt, you can just share what I have so you can see on DK or whatever book you all want to use. That's fine, but I'm just on DK here and just wanted to build something with what you were doing. But go ahead. What do you have, Kevin or Harry? That's fine.
Well, underdogs are 7-1. Yeah, underdogs are 7-1 against the number in the last 8 matchups in this rivalry. So put that in your memory bank. This is a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Obviously, the Rams winners 20-17. Kittle returns tonight, but both of these offenses are ranked near the bottom of the league. I mean, for the Rams, it's Kupp and Higbee basically are the entire offense. Stafford has thrown 5 interceptions in his first 3 games. Does not look very good. I'm going to go under 42.5 on the total here, and I see that's what you got up there.
Well, I'm following your lead.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought, look, the number hasn't moved, right? So it's plus 1.5. The spread hasn't moved. So if we all like one team, then we can work with that. I don't know what side you're on. It sounded like you would lean Rams. I don't know where you are, Devin, either.
So I have just a little parlay. I have Rams money line and a Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown currently.
Okay.
I do like George Kittle also anytime touchdown, but like it's kind of conflicting. So I also like Matthew Stafford to throw an interception. My thing is I just don't fully trust. Like I'm not all in on the Niners passing defense. Like they've played in bad weather. They've played not great teams. Like I just don't think that they're as elite as people say they are. And I think the Rams really need to win. So I feel pretty good about Rams money line in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think both of you made good points just about the lower scoring is definitely going to factor in with the Niners. They're down Trent Williams. They're already playing with fire with their interior offensive line as is. So just having Jimmy Garoppolo back doesn't magically erase all of those issues, especially with Aaron Donald and that front. So I'm with you on the Rams. And Harry, it sounded like you leaned Rams as well.
Yeah, I'm leaning Rams as well.
All right. So let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this. All right. I don't know if you know this. I'm sorry. I was trying to get rid of this stupid shit up here. But this is historic right now through 4 weeks. 23 games so far have been decided by 3 or fewer points.
Yes.
That is outlandish.
It's an all-time high.
I mean, it's insane, right? So if we like the Rams here, we're better off pushing this instead of the money line. We're better off pushing this to minus 2.5. And now we're covered under what is the most key number by a mile in the NFL. And the likelihood of the Rams squeaking one out by 1 or 2 points is much lower than it would be by 3, if you follow me.
Yeah, and you're getting plus 130 on there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I like it.
I mean, this is us right here. We took one from you, one from Devin, one from me.
What is the just for the sake of knowing, what is the Cam Akers rushing total tonight?
Whatever it is, go under. Well, you have an opportunity depending on your book, but it's going to be around 44.5 would be the baseline. My guess would be.
Okay. All right.
But here's the thing: this rushing offense.
It's 43.5.
Yeah.
There you go. It's really bad, right? Really bad. I tell you, what I would like, what I would do is if you were doing this in a parlay like what we have here, we can go 29.5. But if you were just playing this and you wanted to do like an alt 34.5, even if you wanted to push that, because it does correlate with him scoring. But here's why. I don't think I don't think the Niners are going to be able to run between the tackles. I think at some point they're going to realize just putting the ball in Deebo Samuel's hands to run the football outside, even jet sweep, like something along those lines, getting it to him in a running capacity is probably going to be their best bet. So I wouldn't be shocked if he had like 1.5 more carries than he normally does. So I would put that in there right there.
Okay. I like this.
Okay.
So what is plus 3,500 it is.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
There you go. All right. So what do we have? Anything to look ahead on? Anything that you jumped in on? It's early in the week, but lines are already moving. In fact, so is one. I love to see that they move when you get in on a Sunday, and now Monday they start. So anything that you've looked at ahead of time. Devin, you want to close it down with anything you have?
I don't have anything at the moment. Just looking ahead to tonight, and I am definitely not touching betting on Phillies at all. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
I might take the over 7 tonight in this game.
On the Phillies?
Yeah, just for the game over 7.
I don't know how long McCullers is going to be out there, man.
I'm looking at a little look ahead is because it's a look ahead. Tennessee visits LSU next week, and LSU is a short home dog at plus 3.5. Tennessee has Alabama the next week, and that's the biggest Tennessee-Alabama game in decades, since Peyton Manning has been there probably. And I think that we had a strong look-ahead situation for the Vols. I will take Coach Kelly and the Tigers at home as a 3.5-point underdog.
Wow. What are they on the money line? You don't like them? I mean, 3
I'm not
is
sure. I didn't even look at it.
Okay. You don't like them winning outright?
Yeah, possible.
Okay. I like it. Look, I'm going to tail that. I might even dabble a little on the money line.
Okay.
2, I'll leave you with real quick. I think it's going to it was, depending on where you were looking, it was at 3.5 already. It opened at 3. But I don't trust what Cincinnati has done in the 2 victories that they've had. Baltimore comes off a rough one. Yeah. And they're only laying 3 at home. Again, that's the key number now to look at with these 23 games so far. So I'm going to jump ahead of that with the expectation that it's probably 3.5, maybe even 4.
Probably goes to 4
by the time it closes, right? Yeah. Especially since it's Sunday Night Football. And the last one to think about here is I took a chunk on the under for the Vikings-Bears game in Minnesota. Chicago's defense has been playing to really a T there, and Minnesota comes back from London, tough victory. I think they'd be tired, not from jet lag so much, just that tough victory. The travel is extra, so it's 43. We'll see what happens.
I love that. I love betting the Bears no matter who they're playing under. I think I've taken their game under every week thus far in the NFL, including yesterday.
Moneymaker.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. We appreciate everybody hanging. For Devin, Harry, I'm Eitan. Matt, thanks for producing. Thanks to you out there. Thumbs up, subscribe. You know the drill. We'll be back Wednesday for a midweek look here on Philly Voice Sports Bets.